Yeah, maintain 10,000 and depart to the east. Mission ground commander to 10 men, mission successful. Thanks for the work, guys.
If I thought for 1 minute, as a retired lieutenant colonel and the former deputy post commander, if I thought for 1 minute this would save just one soldier's life, I'd be 100% behind this expansion. But this expansion proposal is not about that.
Camp Grayling currently is about 148,000 acres. They have roughly 100,000 acres of public state land already. And about 57,000 of that is long-term lease land, which means the primary mission on that land is military. There is not a concern for environmental impact on that land. They want to add an additional 162,000 acres. So their current footprint is 230 square miles, and it would be closer to 450. I've tried to show people on maps. It is huge. I don't know the statistics of what cities it's larger than, but I believe it's larger than Chicago, larger than Los Angeles. You can combine the largest cities in Michigan all together, and it's still bigger than that.
In my county of Crawford County, presently Camp Grayling controls 84% of all state land within the county, and should this proposed expansion pass, Camp Grayling will control 96% of all state land within Crawford County.
This PFAS is coming from a number of different sources, mainly where the National Guard used AFFF foam to fight fires, whether it be at the airfield, whether it be at the cantonment area, or any of the ranges, north, south, east, and west of Camp Grayling itself.
That is unacceptable, and I can come up with another adjective, but I won't, but it is certainly unacceptable to turn your tap water on in the Grayling area or even downstream where this is happening. This should not have happened, and the cleanup is just dragging their feet.
Recently, there has been from the Department of Eagle, which used to be called the DEQ, a gentleman by the name of Randall Roth had wrote an 11-page letter, I believe, to Camp Grayling. And in layman's terms, what the letter said was, "We are aware that you are still discharging stormwater into Lake Marguerite, and sampling has indicated that the amount of PFAS in that discharge of stormwater exceeds safety limits." Again, he's a district supervisor for Eagle. He's specifically familiar with the PFAS issue in the Camp Grayling area. When he had the backbone to speak out about the problem, he was shut down. His voice was silenced. He recommended to the Department of Natural Resources that until the National Guard becomes more proactive in dealing with the current PFAS issue, his recommendation was that they shelf the idea of giving Camp Grayling an additional 162,000 acres.
My family has been here on both sides for a really long time. I'm the 6th generation on my mom's side and the 5th generation on my dad's side, so Grayling has definitely been home for my entire life and for several generations before me as well. I hunt, I fish, I cross-country ski, I hike. I really spend a lot of my time outside. Most of my time in the outdoors is on state land.
There are tens of thousands of people that come up and recreate, equestrian people, ATV riders, mushroom hunters, berry pickers, the people that come up to fish, the people that hunt.
We got a lot of working class, union workers, factory workers that they have to plan for their vacation a year in advance to put in the time to get the time off. And then they're coming up here to go hunting or, enjoy the outdoors. And if that one time that they have made these plans, they come up here to go hunting and it's cordoned off or, there's some training going on in that area that they've been coming up to forever, they're not going to take that chance again.
I believe a Camp Grayling expansion of this magnitude would have a significant impact on the local economy. I have seen the economy in Lovell's over the past couple of decades be decimated by the restrictions imposed by the National Guard training.
If we have less access to state land, I worry that people aren't going to want to come up to Crawford County or the surrounding counties to hunt because there's nowhere to go if the state land is not easily accessible or blocked off. I think it's really important for deer hunters to come up and they're staying in Grayling, they're spending their money around town.
In the most recent decade, their expansion into more areas of their long-term lease land has closed off the primary snowmobile trail to Lovell's, which means people would go through Lovell's on the snowmobile trail and hit a fence and have to turn around. And a snowmobiler in the middle of a Michigan winter is only going to do that once before they remove that route from their trail. So the economy in Lovell's has already been crippled by military training. And I believe once people experience military training out in the woods, they're not going to come here anymore.
History has shown once Camp Grayling gets a hold of our state lands, the public never gets those lands back.
I think everyone that I've spoke with about the expansion is in opposition to it. Everybody has the same fears I do. My friends and family, they're all connected to the outdoors. I feel like if you live in northern Michigan, you're connected and you are here primarily because you love the outdoors. You love the fact that we can go hunting and skiing and fishing and down the AuSable River. So I think everybody worries about this expansion because it could impact us all. And the reason we love Grayling, what makes Grayling and the surrounding counties so unique, this is why we're here, is to be outdoors.
Based on discussions with my local community, I would say 99.9% are against the expansion of any kind, not one more acre. People who live in the area I live in are there because it is peaceful and it is pristine wilderness, and we accept the noise we already have, but we don't want more.
Virtually everyone is not only against it, but they're adamantly against it. It went from concern to alarming because of the lack of information that was given to my constituents and everybody in Bear Lake Township.
What I think it's really important for people of Michigan, throughout Michigan, to understand is this. We've been going around for 7 months now to dozens of communities talking about the proposed Camp Grayling expansion. I can tell you that in all the presentations we give and the hundreds, even thousands of residents that we've talked to, there has not been one single community that has been for this proposed expansion, not one.
If I could speak directly to the Michigan director of the DNR, I would ask her why this proposal hasn't been denied already. There is nothing about this proposal that is good for the environment or good for the citizens. There is no financial incentive that will help the DNR perform the work they're supposed to be doing.
This is a direct conflict of what pure Michigan is all about. You need to consider what our fears are. Our fears are of the contaminants that are already in this area caused by Camp Grayling. And we certainly don't want anything happening any further. And if it does, this is going to be considered a toxic area where no one is going to want to live. No one's going to want to come up and recreate. And those dollars are going to go to other states.
Crawford County is, and our residents are proud that we have the military here. We support our soldiers. We see them downtown all the time. We have a lot of military veterans in our community. Don't take this lightly. Make sure that it is absolutely needed to save the lives of our soldiers and keep our country safe, because it does not seem like that's the case right now.
When it comes to Governor Whitmer, I would ask her why she is putting money over citizens and environment. There is no other explanation for not just shutting this down already. The perception, the public perception of this is that it is being pushed forward based on political goals, military goals, potential defense industry dollars in the economy. And she is disregarding the impact to citizens who live here, citizens who recreate here, the impact to the environment. I would like her to think about what she campaigned on. Pure Michigan, we all know what that means. It is not pure military. Also, putting Michiganders first. I believe this Camp Grayling expansion is actually putting them last.
If there's one thing I could say to her, I would ask, Governor Whitmer, please do not allow the expansion of Camp Grayling.